The Church of Jesus Christ is falling. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is losing a record number of its membership.
And a major city yet to be determined in Russia.
Travis Wayne Goodsell, it looks like I am back on my old channels. Having tested it, doing the final video, and having to wait 2 or 3 days for people to say, oh yeah, it worked, we chased him off, that evil Korihor is gone. That Antichrist, that anti-Mormon, he's gone, we win, church is true. And so I've been starting up other channels on YouTube, and I realized I didn't need to have a different email for each of those. And so, having learned from my trolls who use their same email but create different channel names, I found that I can do that too. So I've had Mormon Anthropology of Mormonism and LDS Church Keystone, and then one other one, but that failed. I gave people an opportunity to comment, but yeah, nobody really wants to comment unless it's taken away from them, where I hold all comments for review, and then all of a sudden they're angry that I'm not allowing them to comment. So I allow them to comment, and they're silent, except for the one troll. And the Keystone one, nah, it's failing. Nobody's interested in the Keystone. Again, it's a very bizarre phenomenon. Mormons know they've got it. They know what it is. They know what it means, and they're in denial. They think that if they hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil of it, that it will just magically go away. Like my mom. Kids are better. Well, no, it has to change. Kids are better not seen and not heard. And so the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in preparation for their October 2021 General Conference, which is going to take place in 2 hours, made sure that I was cyber attacked to be silenced. Not just trolled into being bullied. Oh, they're so mean. I didn't leave when they were being mean. I left when my computer would not allow me to upload videos. Big difference. And so yes, sure enough, here we are. It's conference time. They silenced me. I'm left alone. This is what extortionists do. They say, hey, you need to be silent or there's going to be trouble. I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. You know, stuff like that. Criminals do. So what was it that I was doing right before I got shut down and silenced by the cyber terrorists? Well, gee, I complained to YouTube about the Healing Power of Gratitude video by President Russell M. Nelson of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as a dangerous and deadly video. It had over 12 million. 12 million views. Talk about your influencer to death. Where he continued to fail Mormons to merely say, hey, I'm a medical doctor. Stay home. The church is filthy rich in the trillions of dollars. We can make sure that you're financially set and covered during this crisis until this virus, like in the Exodus of Moses, passes over. And so, YouTube, not wanting to follow their own policy of shutting down a video until your appeal goes through and is either approved or disapproved, like they do to the rest of us, they instead contacted the church and said, hey, we got in a complaint about this video. We need you to come up with a retraction somehow so that we can justify keeping this dangerous and deadly video on YouTube. So the presidency of the church came out with a statement that was only on their church news. The news agencies a week later said, oh yeah, the church came out with something last week. This is how well Mormons have received it. And they haven't. And then I went over the controversy of the criminal conspiracy of our Utah governor. And he even escalated it with a coronavirus cure of his own. A conspiracy with doTERRA, run and operated by the Mormon from Pleasant Grove. Numerous crimes there. And I went and posted that on Mormon Anthropology. So, what else? I did a video in the same manner and pattern that I did for April. This is why they wanted me silenced. Because there was a certain video I did that got a lot of attention that the church didn't like. And if you're the true Church of Jesus Christ, you don't fear guys like me. Especially with YouTube, silencing me with their algorithm program. If you remember, Facebook not too long ago was exposed for their algorithm to help the 2020 election, and how they help right-wing extremists and Russians and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's all in the algorithm. And so that's not the reason why the church is afraid of me. That I'm only getting 50 views, then 30, then 20, then 10. They're not concerned with that. You'd think if I'm just like any other anti-Mormon Korahor apostate that they would go after those guys too. The Exmo Lex, John DeLynn, Thinker of Thoughts. The church would go after them, right? Because they're wrong too. Treat all of us equally, right? Nope, it's just me. Mormon apologists apparently go after Dodger Dave from the video I saw him make. But the church, and if you notice, the videos in September, 22 September, 22 September, 22 September, 22 September, 22 September, Joseph Smith, the plates, Egyptian gold plates, 22 September, Moroni, Nephi, 22 September, opening and closing hymns, 22 September. Yeah, notice that pattern? And then notice that all of a sudden terrorists are attacking my computer and denying me from uploading videos. right before 22 September. Right before conference. I have recognized back in 2017 that if I expose something that Putin, Trump, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will stop doing it or not go through with it. Notice how Trump used to counter the leaked information from the White House to the press so that he can then say, oh, fake news media, they're lying. Yeah, all part of his plan to discredit the media. And instead he was doing stuff still behind everybody's back that we eventually found out later. And then Trump himself confessed that he's done even worse that we still yet to know about. Have yet to know about. But he's no longer president, so like all those secret phone calls with Putin, that with that whistleblower trying to expose the Ukrainian thing. Do me a favor, though. Yeah, I stopped Armageddon, and you're not going to believe. Because it didn't happen. Which is circular reasoning on your part. But again, I have no evidence on my part because they didn't go through with it. They've got a new date though. It's a doozy. I could tell you, they could find out, they could prevent that one and go to Plan C. And we'll just keep playing this game of extending Armageddon. But if you notice, the Armageddon still has all these other fires all around our nation. They're burning us to the ground, metaphorically and literally, as they keep holding off Armageddon, the final big destruction. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints keeps telling us that Joseph Smith's history, the Book of Mormon, is real history. Literal, real history. Despite the science. All the scientific fields. Because when you're talking about the Book of Mormon, you're talking about lots of different scientific fields. And in our day and time, we have these things called junk scientists, pseudoscientists, fake scientists. Psychology is one of them. And I've been going over that. And even over on my Mormon Anthropology channel, or Anthropology of Mormonism as the channel is called, but the videos are Mormon Anthropology. And the church just got exposed yesterday, well, 2 days ago. I found out yesterday. Did the video and tested to see if I'm allowed to upload videos again. And so, yep, sure enough, just as I expected, conference time is here, it's too late now. Church wins, church is true now because I was silenced. But the church is literally working with the secret combination. The Great and Abominable Church is working with the secret combination. Are you familiar with the Book of Mormon at all? This real history about a great and abominable church and the rise of a secret combination work together to destroy the Nephites. Real history that we won't liken unto ourselves. The Skousens are a part of this secret combination. Cleon Skousen, infamous, I'm now calling it infamous, for his talks about the secret combination in America. Yeah, and you're a member of it. I guess you would know all about it, wouldn't you? So that's what they're doing. Wow, okay. So it's pretty much an autobiography of the group. So go back, find those books, talks by Cleon Skousen, because he's a member. He was in the book, the little black book. Mark is now the one who's the member in place of his father now. It was page 9 and 145, I believe, I remember. And so yes, Oaks getting awards from the Federalist Society. They are attached to that group as well. And so Oaks knows about that group as well and has been rewarded by them, honored, praised by them. The secret band of Gadianton. Real history of the Book of Mormon. And so here he is today and tomorrow, gonna get up and talk to Mormons. They're in the Great and Abominable Church. They are working with the secret combinations, and they're having their October 2021 conference now that they're safe and secure, knowing that I will not dare to molest or make afraid because I was silenced. So yes, pay attention, not just to the talks that they're going to give, but the temples. There were some new stake presidencies in India. Isn't that interesting? We're in India. We're all over the place. We're all over the world. Huh, just like that great and abominable church is in the Book of Mormon. Huh. What do you know? They're filthy rich. They practice polygamy. They're using tithing to keep Mormons in bondage, and they're murdering, exactly like the Great and Abominable Church. So yes, the church still will not protect Mormons from coronavirus. He came out and said, it's now mandated to wear a mask in the temples. Church is the super spreader. As I've been telling you over and over again for these 2 years, I've been keeping track of the statistics on Utah's government website on coronavirus. I see the patterns. The news is not seeing the patterns. They're only going once a day. They're not comparing the stats to see what's going on. They listen to government representatives to tell them what to say on their news reports. The elderly are not being counted among the dead. They have their own separate page, and the dead are not counted on the main page. I've gone over with you every time that happened. It's still happening under Cox. They're not being counted. And so you've got to add the over 800 now of the elderly to the almost 3,000 on the main page. We are literally dying, and the church is not helping, and he's a medical doctor. So let's get this article out of the way here. The Salt Lake Tribune, an hour ago, I'm only able to read a portion of it. They require me to pay in order to see all of it, but enough is given to me so I know what's going on. Carl Wimmer, who's a state lawmaker, he left the church. News to me. He became an evangelical preacher, but apparently he was wanting to become what did he want to become? He wanted to become an advanced policeman in Gunnison Valley Police Department. What was it that he wanted to be? Oh, the Utah Labor Commission has backed Wimmer's claims. Denied him a promotion due to his age and religion. That's because the Mormon Church runs the state of Utah. But it's not clear what he was running for in the police department. But the Gunnison Valley Police Department, you know, they claim, oh, we're not being religiously discriminative against that antichrist, anti-Mormon, apostate corridor. We would never be religiously bigoted. Oh my God. But this is Mormonism for you. I did a video this morning that, second video this morning before this one. I'm going to redo it. It's about the fruits of Brigham Young, and I'm going to redo it to include Joseph Smith to compare and contrast with Brigham Young, as with the splinter groups from either person. And under Brigham Young, it's exceedingly clear how Brigham Young ran things by the groups that left his organization. Not a single splinter group from Brigham Young are a good, innocent, simple religion. Each and every single branch off, including the supposed main line, all are corrupt, criminally corrupt, not just with polygamy, but with other crimes. You know, there's the one group here in Utah that are involved in murders and involved with the financial scams with the school they run. I'm even aware of a company run downtown that they refuse to do equal hiring in the community. They only hire from within the religion, and yeah, it's a mess. But lots of financial fraud, murders, polygamy crimes, sex trafficking, and you just say, wow, this is what they learned from Brigham Young, huh? Joseph Smith is different. Brigham Young is the only oddball in the bunch. Now, the reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints under Joseph Smith III eventually became corrupt. But That's different. It's not a fruit. So yeah, Sidney Rigdon, Alpheus Cutler, James Strang, and James Strang, he was influenced by John C. Bennett. His original intention was just to say, hey, I found metal plates, I translated them, here are the plates, here is my translation. Notice the difference with Joseph Smith. Yeah, there were plates, they're gone, an angel took them, but here's the translation. And Martin Harris is going to be uncovered as finding or revealing that he knew about my rock and a hat thing, which nullifies the reason for having plates if I'm looking at a rock and a hat. Uh-oh, we're being exposed. Somebody's going to murder me. Oh, is that why he was murdered? Yes. You know, lots of people try to claim, oh, it was the burning down of the press that resulted in his murder. Oh, no, it was secretly practicing polygamy. I see John DeLynn, I think, interviewed some guy talking about converting the Lamanites. I knew exactly what that was going to be about. He just refuses to tell us the truth. He gets all these people who are lying or helping the lies of Brigham Young. Nobody is going to the truth. That's why the church doesn't care about John DeLynn or Denver Snuffer or Exmolex. You know, Exmolex has her family to destroy her. But, yeah, this is how Mormons behave. You know, the comments, the thumbs down from Mormons. That's not God's way. Why then are you doing it? Oh, because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has taught you to do that. You are what the church taught you to be. And you're going to be listening to conference in less than 2 hours to be brainwashed by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to do criminal activity. Our justice system has failed us. Not just here in Utah, as they protect the church. But the Constitution did not have criminal and civil cases. That was a later development by judges who wanted to protect government leaders, businesses, technically corporations, and the rich. And now we have rich who are famous, celebrities, and create an unequal justice system so that you have to sue in the civil court only for money damages, even though they've committed a crime against you. Only if you win the civil case will prosecutors then evaluate as to whether they're going to pursue criminal charges. So if you can have judges who say, we're not going to allow your civil petition for a redress of grievances, that's where the church knows me from. They've known me before that. But I found out that they had paid for and ordered my assassination. And I had to take them to court because they were putting the squeeze on me. And in the course of being played around with by the judges, the one judge had been fired because she allowed a case against the church to proceed. Oops! So that made news, but nobody understood the connection to the church. It was reported by the Salt Lake Tribune even. It was no reason to fire her. She hadn't done anything wrong. But they created a case. Oh, no, you shouldn't have let him go to the drug court as a drug offender because the judge in the drug court let him go back out onto the streets, where he then obtained a gun and used the gun to murder somebody, a cop, I believe. And so she was fired for the other judge who did not do his job because she let the church's case go through. And so she was dismissed from that case, and it went to another judge, the chief judge actually, as he had to be the one to deal with that problem. And she's getting played around with. Last I saw, she's not going to win. But she was assigned to my first lawsuit to have it dismissed. And she held a hearing just with me to tell me I'm dismissing this. So I brought it up. I have the evidence that the church ordered and paid for my assassination. I have the person that they had hired, with them receiving the money. And the girls in the back auditorium could be heard going, "Ah!" And my website had been shut down because the day after I filed, because my website was getting 3,000 views per day. That's quite something. So imagine 3,000 per day with YouTube statistics of 28 days. That's 24. That's, wow, 84,000 views per 28-day period on YouTube. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? How many tens of thousands am I at the one popular video on Travis Wayne Goodsell? I think it's getting close to 40,000. If only YouTube would just let me be and let people decide what they want to watch, rather than algorithm changing to silence me. And so yeah, I mean, it's been great not having to worry about computer problems, the internet being turned off, with my internet service going, "Oh, we don't know what happened. Everything seems fine now." Oh my God. Thank you for being a loyal customer for all these years. And the security system, thanks for protecting me. And it's from the guy who advertises securing government programs, computers. Nope, he failed me. We have a breach. So yes. $33.33. It just showed up on the time on my recorder. Mormons refuse to accept that Joseph Smith is a legitimate good guy. They say it, but they live in fantasy land, claiming that his history is real. And so what do I do? The prophets are going to get up, they're going to lead Mormons astray again, and the whistleblower told us they're making so much money from Ensign Peak Associates alone, they don't need Mormons to pay tithing anymore. And yet they're still trying to get as much money as they can. GameStop. That was insider trading. They rigged the system. They were caught having purchased extra stock in GameStop, which was going under. It was nearing bankruptcy. It was going to close all its stores. And then the church starts buying stock on their Ensign Peak Advisors tithing stock. Because we can't see the other stock portfolios they have, just the tithing one. Because that's where the whistleblower worked for. And then all of a sudden, people started using this Robinhood app to steal from the rich and give to themselves rather than the poor. And the church made over $100 million on that little scam. And now that they've made their money, and GameStop really isn't picking up in business, it's just a stock market thing. And so they withdrew their money from GameStop. And nobody's going after them. They're getting away with their crimes. Our justice system is broken. Because if you do not take those in leadership positions, whether it be government, business, or religion, or a community, if they don't get held accountable for crimes, the people can use them as an excuse. Say, well, everybody's doing it. Why are you coming after me? Why aren't you going after the governor who tried to use doTERRA to cure coronavirus on kids? Which essential oils have its health problems in and of themselves, along with the pyramid scam that it is. As they claim, well, it's multi-level marketing, not a pyramid which has multi-levels. If we change the word, then it's not it. It's not a crime. So, yeah, the temples are going to identify who they're working with. They're also going to identify the land that they're seeking to own in advance of Armageddon. Because if MAGA is successful at extorting the Democrats and shutting down the economy because of the debt ceiling that's coming up in the middle of this month, the shutdown has been postponed until December 3rd, I guess. I thought they averted it altogether. I guess it was just delayed yet again. So yeah, that's what you need to watch for. Because when the United States of America goes bankrupt, remember Grease? Not the movie. The sexual innuendo movie with John Travolta. But man, all those old black and white movies, oh my God. Women complain about today's quality of sexual harassment in movies and sexual discrimination and sexualization and blah, blah, blah. Stay away from the old black and whites. With Bob Hope. Oh my God. But it's a land grab. Not a physical body part grab. as that's what you do. The church knows Armageddon's coming. So the church, in preparation, are buying up Utah. Remember? All these temples are in Utah. Oh, it's because the church is growing. Not. 13 million active members gone. But they're still claiming them when doing insurance and taxes and purchases of land. Oops, insurance and fraud and tax evasion. Oops. But no, Travis, their religion, they don't get to pay taxes. Yeah, and protection racket with pyramid scheme, not paying taxes. Not a tax fraud, huh? So, yeah, YouTube had silenced TWG because I exposed the sex trafficking and sex slavery in the church still. And Mormon women refuse to accept it. They don't see it. And Nelson says we don't do that anymore. We're not racist anymore. We're not sexist anymore. We're not bigoted anymore. We're not neglecting the, well, yeah, we still are neglecting the poor. We're still murdering people by having them go to church with coronavirus. But, yeah, when the governments of the world collapse with this economic collapse that begins in America, the church can go to those people in those various nations with a collapsed government, collapsed economy, and say, hey, we own this property. We have a secure structure and administration in place. We'll just take over the government. It's the kingdom of God. You can be a stake of Zion. In 2024, that's when they're planning it. And it's all criminal. It's all treasonous. They're all traitors to America. And they're getting away with it because nobody in government cares to stop them. Crime is not a crime. So, yeah, I'm just like, okay. So, when are you guys going to do it? Come on, Putin. Quit playing games. We all know you're going to do it. You've got control of all the nuclear power plants in America. You don't need to keep holding off just because I exposed it. Yeah, you missed that part. They silenced me. Just in the nick of time. But yeah, that's what they were planning on doing. Putin has control of anything connected to the internet. And it's been done. They have access at any time they want. They've been playing around with our power. They're going around the United States, shutting off power grids. Did it to Trump to, show they're in charge. They have control of our nuclear power plants. As the warning went out and was exposed by the news. And they've been hacking us for a long time now. And one of them's Cozy Bear. But they all act under the orders of Putin. None of them are independent. If Putin found out that they are doing it, and doing it in Russia, a man like Putin, da, 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 da. Yeah, that would be the closing hymn from John Oliver. Man like Putin. Well, he's KGB, guys. He's not not somebody you want to do business with. And if you do not understand how his business economy runs Russia, you're dumb. And you're even dumber if you think it's a good economy. Having to bribe your butcher in order to get the best cut of meat that's available, as long as you beat the others who bribe the butcher for the best cut of meat. That's the quality of economy. Can you imagine going to the grocery store and not finding food or toiletries? Oh, wait. Yeah, that happened last year, didn't it? It happens every single time a natural disaster occurs. Natural disaster comes in, everybody floods the stores to buy basic necessities, cleans out the grocery stores and the markets. It's because nobody factors in, because of their algorithm programs for their business, such kinds of events. And so they don't have storage to replace it quick enough and blah, blah, blah. Because it's not financially feasible. So yes, this is a long video, and it'll go into the start of conference, obviously. And I may have other videos breaking from conference. But, dear God, guys, the Book of Mormon is true, but it's not true history. Joseph Smith's history is true, but it's not true history. Joseph Smith is true. He's real. He's the good guy. It's Brigham, guys. All things Brigham, anything coming from Brigham or any associated with Brigham, you got to treat it with skepticism. He lies. He cheats. He murders. We know him by his fruits. And Nelson is from that. He's a medical doctor. He's asking you to have magic to cure coronavirus. Latest thing for conference is all this peace in Jesus. Jesus gives peace. Really? Really? I did that video on Anthropology 1 yesterday. It's with the baby crying. See, babies don't care about the magic powers of Jesus to solve their problem, whether it's hunger or needing a diaper change or cranky and wanting to go to bed or just needing to be held. They need physical results. The church is required to help physically save its people, and Nelson refuses. He tells all the Mormons, you're on your own, but keep paying money to us. Otherwise, you're going to be denied, and we'll accuse you of being an antichrist, anti-Mormon, Korahor apostate, of whom we don't discriminate against, with retaliation of any kind, even cyber attacks. So, I'm back. We'll have to see about the video opening hymns, I guess, and closing them. So we'll see.